Almighty morning. Well, she was here and then she's disappearing. She comes and goes and comes in. Good morning, almighty morning. I try and say that I work on saying that. Almighty morning. An elevated hello. Um, Welcome to Communications Connections. Today, my guest is Cherril, and I put Cherril LMT because that's what her website is, and that's what she's going by right now, and that's what it's all about. Is her license, not massage therapist? Yeah, I'll get it right. It's been one of those mornings. We both had frogs earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on clearing that. Anyway, well, as you guys know, I introduce as far as how I met her. Okay, so we have a few people on. I want to double check my chat to make sure it's working because we do have every once in a while our dear friends at Restream and the other channels do not work well with each other. So I'm going to make sure that it's actually working today. See if I can go to my other channels. Have you tried to see if we were on any channels, Cheryl?
No, not yet. I can check on my other phone here.
Okay, I'm going to check real quick. Okay. Wow. There it goes. Okay. So let me see. Because if we do not have a chat, I will have to get working on that.
I understand that. It does show it says live on Facebook. So
Okay.
that's good.
We're good. If Facebook is working, most likely YouTube is as well. So we've got people popping in.
Cool.
Again, this is Cherril, and I met her at the Phoenix Psychic Fair in Tempe.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to be at least 2 years ago. I don't remember which one
I
it
think
was.
so.
I did 3 there.
Yeah, it was. Well, I think it was a couple more years ago because I believe I was still living in another place, and that was back in 2022, 2023. So
Okay.
yeah, so I believe it's been a couple more years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Time flies so fast.
Yes, but of course, the nucleus for all of us meeting is Tina Scoto.
It's true.
I have seen you at the Monday night class as well.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
did take a trance class from Kaz, right?
2.
2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were
I
you
think
going to take
2.
this third one?
No, not right now. I have
Okay.
too many life transitions going on right now. But I love those classes, and I would love to join. Just not in my wheelhouse at the moment.
And one good thing is, no offense, but it got canceled this time.
Aw,
Well, that means maybe when she comes back,
it'll be full. It'll
it
be super full.
yeah, it'll be the right time for you, which it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Doc. Welcome in. We're going to go through an interview first, and then Cheryl is ready to do some readings. And I do have another introduction for you that, oops, I'm working on pulling it up, that I was given because this is also what we're going to talk about, not just her journey getting here, but let's see, I have it here. It
I
went
understand that.
fast. Okay, polished. No, that's not the right one yet. I had it, and of course, as soon as I put it down. Okay. Good morning, and welcome to Communications Connections, a space where we elevate dialogue, honor diverse perspectives, and explore the deeper layers of human experience. Today, we're focusing on something profoundly important: the body as communicator. You didn't know this, did you, Cheryl?
No, I didn't know that. I love it though. I love it because it does communicate.
Yes. I'm honored to welcome Cherril, a licensed massage therapist with advanced training in therapeutic bodywork, myofascial techniques, trigger point therapy, and I want that one, sports and clinical massage, and nervous system care. She
Mhm.
evidence informed methods with a grounded, calming approach to deliver consistent, results driven care that supports both performance and deep restoration. Today, we explore what happens when clinical excellence meets intuitive awareness and why regulation is foundational to how we live, lead, and communicate.
Nice. I like that.
And that's all about you
Okay.
and what you do.
That's my wheelhouse, that's for sure.
Yeah. So that's how I met you.
Mhm.
And how did you get here where you are today?
Oof. How
In,
much
in the
time do
good
we
way,
have?
in what you want to share. I'm just saying what you want to share. We're not going to get real deep because, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. So, back in 2011, I moved here from Arkansas. I needed a big change, right? So, in that change, I realized I wanted to get out into the community, learn more about spiritual stuff, learn more about different ways of thinking, different perspectives, how to change my life, which inevitably can help change my children's lives, things like that. So, I was here in 2011, got my education in graphic design and small business management. And that was done in 2015. And in 2016, had a life change similar to what I'm dealing with today. And it pushed me into the realm of finding my purpose in a more wholesome way. And that put me in a place where I was in the spiritual community more. I was learning to row. I was learning how to interpret the messages I was receiving from spirit versus what was spirit, what's somebody else, what's not somebody else, and all the things in between, right? Um, so in all of that, I started to learn, we have a mental body, we have an emotional body, we have a physical body, we have an energetic body, and we have a spiritual body. So we have five different bodies that we have. And by the time 2024 rolled around, or 2023 actually, I had done a lot of work in understanding, the mental, the emotional, the energetic, and the spiritual, but I didn't understand much about the physical. And so I thought, how could I go and figure out learn how the physical also interacts with these other four bodies? And so that took me down the journey of getting my massage license. So I didn't realize how much our body um, tells us stuff that it holds on to, tells us stuff that it wants or doesn't want, and how it tells us that through holding patterns and, many, many different things. So that's kind of a very short synopsis of how I got where I'm at now, is because, over these years, I've learned that, our mind affects our emotions, affects our energy, affects our spiritual thinking, and, how we show up, and ultimately it affects our physical body. Um, and our physical body is usually the last, from my experience, because it's the last, it's the slowest, it's the one that shows the 3D physical aspects of all the different things. So here we are.
And is it true that the body stores memories, traumas, all of that?
Absolutely true. Yeah. So there's a beautiful book out there called The Body Keeps the Score. I always recommend that as it's a great, great tool to learn more about that specifically, in one concise book. But yes, the body absolutely keeps memories, keeps traumas. It holds traumas. Sometimes it's in our muscles. Sometimes it's the way that tumors grow, or cancer, or all the different things that show up in our physical bodies. Our joint pain, if we have to have a knee surgery or anything like that, can all be started from a mental or emotional space that could have been caused by a traumatic event, or an adverse experience. So yes, absolutely, definitely, both from my experience and from reading from the books that I've read, as well as working with other clients who I can bring that element of, well, have you thought about maybe this, or what happened when this started, or working with people in those ways has all proven to show, yeah, absolutely, our body keeps us keeps those memories, keeps those thoughts. Now, can we do something about it? Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
And does your massage therapy help with that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It does, and that's partly why I really, really love it, because when you understand that you have all these 5 different bodies, and you understand, how the mind and the emotions and the energy can show up in the physical body, and then you also understand the physical anatomy of the body, and merging the two with the esoteric knowledge plus the physical knowledge and how they combine to create what we are as human.
Hmm.
When you put them together, it can facilitate a healing that one by itself might not be able to facilitate. You might be able to understand something emotionally or understand something mentally, but if you don't understand how it can affect you physically, then do you get a full body resolution? So,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's how I approach it. Um, with every client, and no massage is ever the same. You're not going to need the same thing I need. And, Tina is not going to need the same thing you need, so
right.
it's it's all very, very specific. And even if I were to work with you, let's say we have our first session and you come in with this particular, situation, and we work on that. Well, next time you come in, it's likely not going to be there. And so we're going to be focusing on something else, and then so it progresses into um, being able to move through your life with more ease because you're addressing all the things, not necessarily just the physical. Now, there are people who don't want the mental, emotional suggestions, thoughts, esoteric information, things like that. And that's okay. That's more of a clinical massage, and it can still very much help move energy, move emotions, all of that stuff, even if you don't acknowledge it mentally, because there are a lot of people who don't want to believe in that, and that's okay.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
have you come across any of your clients that you start out with the clinical and then they get curious? That's what I thought. And how did
Hmm.
that
So, so a good example. I've had a number of clients that way. They want to come in and they just want a physical massage, and sometimes, when they're willing to chat with me a little bit, I'll ask a question that says, and then I'll preface it with, this is just something that I've come across in my experience, and I'd like to ask you this question, but you don't have to answer this question to me because it's not for me. I don't need to know the answer to this. That's your business, right? And I'll ask, so, in my understanding of the human body, when we're dealing with the left shoulder, you know, this could possibly be about something that you are either lacking receiving something, or you feel like you're not receiving what you need, you know, and you feel like there's a weight on your shoulders, you know. Does that resonate with you? Yes, it does.
go?
Okay, cool. Maybe that's something to think about. Again, not something we have to talk about, but something to, look at what happened when you started feeling this pain. So many clients have come in and just thought that it was just, physical massage or clinical massage, and just be that. And then there are some who don't even want to think about that, So yes, definitely, I'd say probably 70-30, maybe. There are about 30% of people are just straight up want the massage. They want the physical aspect of it, and that's it. And then about 70% of the clients that I see end up going, huh, maybe there's something to that,
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah, I love it. I love working with people in this way.
Yeah. And we've got a lot of people popping in. We have
Beautiful.
Dr. Pre, that's the easiest way I can say her name. I don't want to butcher it. And I think are you back in India? I think you said that not too long ago. And Bonnie, again, Bonnie from, well, she does have two live shows one on Friday evening and one on Sunday morning.
Nice.
And, but she's an Everything Just Rocks or a Tina Scoto person. And that's who, Harley. And now she's our Tuesday night class. That's how we know Harley. Miss A5 says, or Angie, I think you probably know Angie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's in.
Hello.
And we have John Peter. I'm not sure where John Peter's at. And Sandra, I know you've told us where you're from. I thought it was East Coast. And of course, Don Rumor Rivera.
Hey, John. How are you?
So we have a few people popping in, and thank you. And
Mhm.
talking about those traumas. How do I want to say this? And I'm talking clients here. And of course, we don't know names. We don't really, their story is more important than their name at this point. Was there any, I know you talked about the ones that have open mindedness,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
70% and the 30. And as soon as you said 30% is like closed minded, just they don't want to. They don't want to evolve. Oh, okay, Canada. Okay, thank you. British Columbia, Canada. Thank you.
Nice.
So we've got them from all over. I know Victor will be in shortly, and he's from Sweden. Um, so we're getting him
That's
all
cool.
over. And Harley is in the Massachusetts area.
Nice. Nice.
So, yeah.
Welcome, everyone.
Yeah. And, okay, back to the trauma. So, in your most, the client with the most trauma deep inside, how long
Mhm.
does that, and I know everybody's different, how much would that usually take to get through it?
That's a great question. So again, it really depends on how open the people are, right? So let's say I have a client who just wants the physical. It might take a couple sessions just through the physical and just building rapport with that client to even be able to broach a topic like that. So let's say we take someone who has let's say we take someone who has very tight exoskeletal muscles, and it stops them from being able to have normal movement, right?
Yeah.
Um, and those are the ones who are really closed off, right? So it could take a couple sessions. So depending on if they come once a week, it could take a month just to kind of start opening them up a little bit, right? If they're only coming once a month, it could take 4 months to build that rapport with them, so that they can start to become more open to the matching the thoughts and the emotions and the events with the body work. Um, the ones that are the hardest, I think, the ones who would absolutely take the longest are the ones who are completely separating mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, energetic, who are completely separating all five bodies. Those are the ones that would take the absolute longest, and that could be because of it could be because of trauma, long-term systemic trauma from childhood. It could be from an adverse event that changed who they are, which actually is a trauma. Because I don't know if people know the difference. There's an adverse action, which is something hard that you go through. It doesn't change who you are. And then there's a trauma where it changes how you see the world or how you see yourself or how you show up, things like that. So an adverse action is something hard that you've gone through. A trauma is something that changes something about you or how you show up, right? What you believe, things like that.
Could
And
you
when you're dealing,
give us examples of those? Just
okay.
trauma we understand,
So
I think.
So, an adverse action let's say I get into a car wreck and I bang my knee up pretty bad. You know, that's an adverse
Okay.
experience, right? Could
Right.
there be some trauma to that? Yes, however, it's unlikely. Is it a large trauma that's going to change who you are as a person? No, that's an adverse action or experience. Let's say different car wreck, right? But in this car wreck, I slide on some black ice and flip over the edge of a bridge and land upside down in water, and I'm trapped until somebody comes to get me, or something like that.
Right.
That is a
Trauma.
trauma. That will stop you from driving over a bridge. That will stop you from being able to drive. That will, and that's just how those kinds of things happen, right? So an adverse action or experience is something that is hard to go through, but it doesn't change who you are, how you think, what you do, or an experience, that you have. A trauma is something that changes something very seriously for you.
Okay.
Thank you for asking that. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Um,
a lot of people were going, and I
right.
have fallen a couple times while I've been running. To me, that's an adverse thing, but
Mhm.
it wasn't traumatic. Other than, dang it, I know better than doing to having my thoughts wander. I need to be here in the moment, and that's what
Focus.
it taught
Yeah.
me each time. But
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
body wasn't very happy with me not paying attention.
Right. So with you in that case, we would work more on the physical
Yeah,
and maybe taking you and maybe saying something along those lines of, let's take the knee, for example. You banged your knee up when you fell. If I'm working on you, I might sense that and I might, say, you know, what comes to mind when you think about what initially happened to cause this pain? And so we might have a dialogue. It could be short, it could be quick, and that bringing that awareness to it could resolve it to a point where one, you don't need to come back for a little while to get another massage, but two, if you bring that much awareness to it and you understand that your mental is being affected and you're getting hard on yourself, which is your emotional, and then your physical is being affected because you're not focused, right?
right,
Then you could potentially change your outcome. And once you bring that awareness to it, the next time you run, you're likely not going to fall the same way.
right.
So
No,
there's where the changes come in when you're dealing with all of the levels of the human body.
okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
I just, to me, your example was still heavy, and so I wanted to get it a little bit lighter and
Oh,
tripping and falling when I'm, you know what I'm saying?
oh
Because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just being careful with somebody who might have had
A car wreck.
a more adverse
I
car.
understand that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But okay. Now you've talked about how stress becomes stored in the body a
Hmm.
little bit. And what is the connection between nervous system regulation and communication?
That is a great question. So we have our vagus nerve, which is our spinal fluid. It's the nerve that runs from our cortex in the back of our brain all the way down to our coccyx, and that is where our life force energy flows. And when we are able to regulate our nervous system to where we're not in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn on a regular basis, then we are allowing our body to relax into a state where those holding patterns that I might be holding my shoulder up here and not know it,
Right.
but when I get my nervous system back to where it needs to be, I can relax. I can I can breathe.
Yeah. And I'm glad you pointed that out because a lot of people going through just normal day life, going
Mhm.
to school or in a business, their shoulders start creeping up. I know.
Mine was yesterday. It was up here and I was like, "Oh, that don't feel so great."
Yeah.
Yeah. For
And then you get
sure.
a stiff neck and you get all these other things. So when
Mhm.
you notice your shoulders going up, what would you suggest the first thing to do?
Well, sometimes the hard part is, just noticing it, right? So, what I do when I notice it, I'll be like, "Oh, oh, I'm holding. We can we can relax. It's okay. We're good. Just go ahead and let that fall." You know, and so talk to your body. Talk to it. Say, "Hey, I realize I'm holding you right here. I don't necessarily need that. Let's go ahead and relax back down." And just bring that awareness to it. And a lot of times it's just acknowledging it. A lot of times acknowledging the holding pattern and just saying, "Hey, we're okay." That's almost like a pat on the back. We're rubbing our shoulder, but I don't know about you. It's kind of hard to reach way
Yeah,
back there.
yeah,
But but if we're just, "Hey, I recognize you. I feel you." And even if we're in a moment where we can't address it right then, and maybe I can't touch my shoulder because I'm in a meeting somewhere, but I feel it up there, and I can just go, nice deep breath, and let
okay.
those shoulders drop.
So breathing does help as well.
Oh, breathing absolutely helps because breath is the center of life force, right? It's what works with our nervous system and our vagus nerve and all of that wonderful stuff to help bring us back into a calm state. And that's what we want, is a calm state, because when you can live life in a more calm state, you can make better, more rational, less emotional based decisions.
Right.
Most of the emotional based decisions that we make as humans, I'm guilty of it, are not always the best decisions. So, when we can breathe into life and bring in that calm awareness, it allows us to make better decisions for ourselves, for our family members that we love, for our pets, for our businesses. Everything that we interact with can just become more whole.
Right. And I appreciate that because I know we all go through that. There's not
Yeah.
a one person. I
Mm-mm.
mean, I know a lot of calm people. I really do. But I know they've had their issues, and I
Mm-hmm.
know they've gotten to a point where they can calm themselves down quickly. So that's
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Absolutely. Yes. Because part of the nervous system and the whole fight, flight, fawn, all that stuff, we might not even know that we're in that state until we have awareness of what that state is for us. Until we have awareness of what's triggering that for us, we just don't know what we don't know. And sometimes when we feel anxious, all we can do is breathe, you know, and bringing back that breath helps bring down that nervous system to a point where we can come back to a neutral function.
Yeah. And along the lines of body work,
Mhm,
the therapeutic body work now,
mhm.
the regulation and performance support. What do you do for that?
So within massage, I do guide people on how to breathe. So when we're going deep into a muscle, if you don't know how to breathe, I need to guide you in how to breathe, which is doing what? It's bringing back the nervous system to a neutral state. So we're bringing people into a calm state within that massage. And so even if it's performance and recovery based, unless it's specific to sports massage, which would be like at an event somewhere, or somebody specific who's an athlete and they have an event coming up, but they want their muscles loosened up. Even in that, we could technically work in this way. Um, and at the same time, all massage is based on being able to acknowledge the holding pattern, work through it, breathe when it's necessary, and bring the body back to a neutral state so so it can let go of that. So it's all about letting go of the things that we're holding on to. And sometimes, even for people who don't want to acknowledge the mental or emotional, even when they go through these processes of letting the pain go, they're unconsciously letting go of that mentally and emotionally in some way.
And they might not be aware of it.
Correct. Yeah,
Now, can you tell the difference
I can. Hmm.
when they are releasing those things?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, because it's through the body.
Hmm.
I don't have to talk to someone to know that they're letting go of something. If I'm working in an area, let's say the shoulder, we'll stick with the shoulders, right? Let's say I'm working back here and that shoulder blade just doesn't want to move for me, you know? And then I coach the client to breathe through some techniques, work with me a little bit, bring acknowledgement and attention to the area. And then suddenly they shift. Then I know that their mental and emotional is also shifting, even if they don't know it. Yeah.
I had a massage therapist yell at me one time
Did you fire
because
them? I hope you fired them,
yes, I did.
whoever. That's so
I was,
rude. I hope not
well,
ever.
it was really weird because in a particular spot, I think it was on the back of my neck, and was saying that, telling me to relax. Okay, fine. I thought I was relaxed. But, and I don't know if it was a trigger point, which massage it was, but she says, "You're going to break my fingers." I'm going, "I'm not doing anything." So I don't know what that was all about,
That
but
was her.
something wouldn't move.
Yeah.
So, and what you were saying is if it wouldn't move for you, you were talking about the breathing techniques.
Hmm.
She didn't get
Yeah.
into all that.
No. And that's where a massage therapist like myself, who does believe in the spiritual aspects of things along with the body mechanics, can bring a different element of healing into a massage versus somebody who's just clinical. I would have never, ever in my life said something like that to you. I
Yeah.
would have said, I'm just noticing that as I work this area, this particular muscle that I'm trying to work is not wanting to move. You know, do you feel that? Yes or no? Maybe. You know, cool. Can we bring some attention to this muscle real quick for me? And can you maybe just tell it to relax a little bit so that we can get into there a little bit and just kind of think that thought maybe? And sure enough, within seconds, the muscles relax. We're able to get through that and work into allowing the muscle to fully extend or just so there's little muscle fibers, right? The knots that we get are muscle fibers, and basically what's happening is they're just going like this, right? And they're just all bunched up. And so in a massage, when you're working on it, like whether you're doing this or you're doing this, you're working to expand those knots and to help the muscle come back to a neutral state, right? And so when you bring the awareness to the space, even if the muscle is just holding, and I go, "Hey, do you feel that I'm trying to move this here, and maybe your muscle's not just allowing that, a little bit, and can you just kind of tell it to relax for me a little bit?" And a lot of times it'll happen, or sometimes I'll say, I noticed that this muscle is not wanting to move, and it feels like what it wants me to do is to apply a lot of pressure right here so that you can have that compression just to kind of let it go. Kind of like a big hug is what a compression is. It's like a very heavy hug, you know? And 9 times out of 10, that muscle will release right there, because it just needs the time and the patience to allow it to just let go. And again, they don't have to be mentally or aware of what I'm doing, or the knowledge that I have. They just know that it works. And so,
Yeah.
and that's what I love most about being able to help the human body along with the mental and emotional and spiritual aspects of who we are.
Now, on somebody like that, that you've helped them, and yes, they don't know what you're doing,
Hmm.
but say next time that you feel a quick cramp or something, I would suggest you focus in on it
Yeah, I get where you're going with that. And so what happens usually is, if that comes up, there's many, many times where I'll say to someone, this way relaxed really well for us this time, and you're likely going to see it tense up again. What I'd like you to be in awareness of at that time, if you can, is what you're doing when it's happening. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? As tension is rising, what's happening in your environment? What's happening inside you, to cause this? Because that is exactly, you have to have the awareness of it before you can do anything about it, you know? And some people come back and go, okay. And then they come back and they have a different issue somewhere else because whether they acknowledge it or not, they probably go on into their lives and think about that and go, and somehow process it on their own, you know, but it still brings the awareness piece to it when they're with me and then when they're not. Because whether they think about it consciously when they're not with me, somehow their mind is still going, how is this connected? Because I've planted the seed in the massage to say, hey, if this comes up for you again, just notice what's happening in your environment. And so that planting of the seed can oftentimes help resolve many, many issues that people have with knots or with holding patterns or pain patterns, things like that.
And we have people already asking for readings, so I'm starting at the top of the hour. We will do that.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. So just so you know, we will be doing, or she will be doing that later. And
Mhm.
she does have, she is a licensed massage therapist, and Cherril does have a business.
Mhm.
So she's getting her business started. I mean, it's already started, but building it right now.
Mhm. Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about that before I ask more questions about the body?
Sure. So I'm located in Tempe, Arizona. I have an office over off of Elliott and the 10, which, if you're familiar with the area, is leaving Phoenix to go to Tucson on I-10, or coming from Tucson to Phoenix on the I-10. So, building my space there. I've been there since January now, and I can do readings and things like that out of the office location. I'm not able to do full body massage there yet because I do need to still get the business license, which is part of building the business. I do have some packages on my website if anyone's interested. Um, and I can provide that information in the chat later. But my business focuses on performance and recovery. And then the reason why I put performance and recovery is because I want to interact with people who are physical in their life, who are active and need just maintenance and, well, how do we get to a point where I can utilize my body better, or how do we make sure that it doesn't break while you're utilizing it, right?
Right.
And then also, recovery can be recovery from anything. It can be recovery from accidents. It can be recovery from an athletic event. If you run 10,000, not 10,000 miles, um,
10,000 steps a
10K.
day.
That'd be a lot of running. But, if you bike a lot, things like that. But also if you sit at a desk a lot, yeah, there's recovery in massage when you're sitting at a desk a lot. And
Yes.
that's where our life is a lot of times these days, is behind a desk or behind a computer or sitting a lot. So performance, based on active lifestyles, and then recovery based on, if you get an injury of some kind, or if you just need to recover from your day-to-day life because you are sitting like this all day, typing on a computer and doing this and that. Well, I can help you with that. So, yeah. Does that help answer your question about that?
Yeah. And again, that's the stiff neck. When you're just sitting at a computer, stiff neck, raising of your shoulders. I know. I've been through that one. But Christine has a question. Is your business through Reiki therapy massage? Can you do Zoom?
I can do Zoom, however, not with massage. I don't do Reiki, I do polarity. That is definitely a Zoom session, and I do polarity body work or polarity communications. Communications can be via Zoom or Messenger or Google Meet, any of the platforms. But the massage piece is a physical massage, so that does have to be in person. Now, I do have offer remote sessions for those local to this Tempe area, and Apache Junction, Phoenix, all the places here in this area. Um, but yeah, so massage is definitely physical and in person, whether that's remote at your place or at my location. Primarily remote right now at your place because I'm still building the business and getting the business license I need to work within the office. Um, but not Reiki, polarity communications can definitely be done via Zoom or online. Thank you for
Great.
asking.
Yeah, that was a good question. Thank you, Christine, for that.
Hmm.
Okay. And yeah. All right. I was just checking the chat to see if there's anybody else with questions like that, or if you have a question about the massage and what she does right now. We'll get into the readings later. And what we got? In about 17 minutes, we will take a 2-minute break. And let's see. Now I have another question. And this is, could you tell us the difference between injury and tension overload? You might have talked
Sure.
a little bit about that, but
A
you
little
can.
bit, but there is a difference. So, an injury comes from an impact of some kind, right? Or it comes from having to have surgery and now you have an injury there and you need to recover with that, right? Um, Stress overload or tension overload is okay. So, let's say, let's take our shoulders, for example, right? So, let's say I'm really tense and here's where my shoulder is, right? Can you see the difference? So this one is raised. You back up a little bit. So this is tension, right? Versus I might have had surgery over here and I just need some support to resolve that, right? This is tension. Your muscles all in this area are going to become tight and stuck in that position until you start to work on it and finally just start bringing it down. Now that's exaggerated. It's almost never like this. It's more so usually, so if this is my resting position, I'll have it up here. But you can still see the difference. This is tension, right? Whereas an injury is, let's say I go and somehow I have an impact to a muscle that has injured it, right?
Yeah.
And that's an injury, and you can handle them both similarly. However, the injury is going to be more of a lighter massage. We're not going to just dig into that.
Right.
Versus when you have tension, you're going to need a deeper compression massage that is much, much slower. It's much, much slower because you have to not force it down, but help it remember that it can be down and it's okay. So I hope that helps answer the question.
It does. And believe me, your shoulders can get very high because there was at a point in my life that it's like, what? I don't have a neck anymore? Or why are my ears and my shoulders so close? I couldn't
Yeah.
understand any of it. It took a while to figure that out.
Yeah. The first time I had a chair massage was back when I was like in my early 20s and I was not the brightest tool in the shed there. So so I was like, "What do you mean my shoulders up here?" Huh? I didn't understand that. Now I fully understand it. They're not in my ears anymore.
Right, exactly. Now, Christine has another question. How would you help recover from major spinal surgery? It's been 3 years for me now, and it's a daily task to move every day.
That's a great question. So, with spinal injuries or spinal surgeries, it's all about the detail work, right? I don't I didn't bring a pen and a paper with me, but let's ooh, I lied. Here. Okay. Here's your spine, right? That part right there. Let's just call that your spine. And the little squiggly parts are little teeny tiny muscles on your spine, right? So a lot of times when they're in there doing the surgeries, they have to move those muscles, or they have to cut them away and then put them back, or stuff like that. So similar to like a knee surgery or a hip surgery, where they're having to put the muscle back on the bone with some kind of glue or something, right? So it's my job to be able to feel where the little tiny muscles are tight and tense and holding your bones and everything in a place they don't need to be, and work those muscles specifically. Now, that's just an example of the tiny muscles. You have larger muscles that go all the way up and down your back. Um, so I have to know the anatomy, and I have to know what I'm touching and why I'm, working in that area, to be able to address the concern without hurting you, and in a way that actually benefits the muscle and the tissue surrounding it, and ultimately the movement and the mobility that you have within your spine.
Okay. And it helps.
Mhm. 3 years is a long time to have that kind of pain. I think one of my first questions for you too would be, are you stretching? Stretching can do a lot for us, especially in the spine.
And we have a Miss
Ah,
Amy Landis in the house, and she wanted to say that you rescued her sore neck. So
beautiful, beautiful. Yes, it was. It was a great massage. Yep,
yeah, LOL, you still have a neck. Yeah, okay.
that was funny.
Yeah, that's. But when I saw Amy in the house, I thought, oh, got to get her on there. Because that is um, confirmation that Cheryl does work well,
Yeah,
does
I
help.
see a question on here too. It says, "What can I expect?"
We're gonna go. That's the
That's
reading part
different.
of it. We'll do that in a
Oh,
few
oh,
more
oh, oh.
minutes. Yeah, I
I
just
was
saved that.
confused. I was like, "What?" I'll
They
let
they
you
know
lead.
to they know to put their question in, so I have it. And that's John Peter. Okay. And the problem is that I also have arthritis in my spine,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I said recovering. Okay.
Yeah. So when you're dealing with spinal anything, when you're having to have surgery and um, having any kind of work done like that, we almost always assume there's some kind of arthritis there. Yeah. Naproxen is a good over-the-counter um, joint pain reliever. It's not an aspirin. It's not a Tylenol. It's not that. The naproxen is a bit different, where it's specific to the joint areas, right? And then this questioner is a woman, yes?
Christine, yeah.
Christine. Something I would also talk about with you, or with any other woman, is, are you taking anything to supplement estrogen and progesterone? Because those two hormones are absolutely necessary for joint mobility, especially in women. That's our go-to. And what I take for it is maca root. I
Oh,
have it sitting right here because I take it every day, sometimes twice a day.
okay.
So that right there, oof, it really helps our joints, whether it's in the spine or in our fingers. Maca root supports our progesterone and estrogen in women. So go to, go to right here.
I'm not taking any of those. Well,
They'll help. I know I take both of them. When my joints start to hurt, I take naproxen. I actually couldn't find it at Walmart yesterday.
oh,
But naproxen is not an aspirin or acetaminophen, so it doesn't affect your liver in the same way that like Tylenols, Excedrins, and all those will. And it's focused to help with joints specifically. And then woman to woman, maca root is a must have for anyone who's dealing with perimenopause or menopause, or even after menopause.
post menopause.
Yeah.
For those of us who are in that situation. Okay.
Yeah.
And our joints do hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who you are.
Nope.
And winter's still around. And And sometimes it's rain that does that. So let's see what else she's got.
MACA.
MAC root, right?
Yeah.
MACA root.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh, if you go below to where it shows the gear, there's a gear below your picture. Go to the gear.
I got a little chat thing, not a gear. Okay.
Do you see the gear?
I see settings.
Okay, yeah. Go to settings. Go to your video,
Video.
and then turn off the mirror camera.
Oh. Oh. Facing front, facing back? No.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Now hold it up.
Ooh.
See, much better.
MACA. Oh, there we go.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah.
System restoration. Yeah.
So I get this at natural grocers. You probably can find it other places too. There's different brands, of course. I like the liquid. It tastes terrible, but just swallow some water with it because it's fast acting. And when I wake up in the morning and my joints are stiff, I take a little dropper of this and I'm feeling much better. Now, maca root, because it helps with our estrogen and progesterone, also helps us with our energy levels. So our
Oh,
physical energy levels are boosted naturally when we're supporting our body with maca root.
that sounds like all of us need that. So taking a shot glass,
Mm-hmm.
filling with water, taking a dropper full of that, put it in, and take it as a shot. It gets done, gets out of there.
Yeah, you could do it however you want to do it. I just take the dropper and drop it directly in my mouth and then take a shot of water afterwards.
Okay.
That's that's how I do
Well,
it.
I have a lot
It
of
has
the
a little
tinctures.
kick to it though.
Oh yeah. So it is a tincture, and it has the alcohol in it.
Let me see.
Some
Shake
have glycerin sometimes, and some have water.
water juice best taken between meals. Ingredients: organic cane alcohol
Okay.
and distilled water.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one, I don't know what organic cane alcohol is, but it says 52 to 62%. So if you're concerned about that, definitely look on the back of the bottle because there are powder forms and there are capsule forms that would not have the alcohol in it.
Okay. And you
Yeah,
might be able to find it with glycerin instead of alcohol.
maybe. Yeah, I haven't found any with glycerin, but I haven't looked at all the different brands for that purpose either. So there's that. But yeah.
When it comes to tinctures, I look for the glycerin ones.
Mhm.
However, some of them don't. So, but I limit
Yeah.
my alcohol, and it's basically alcohol from organic sugar, good sugar, raw
Yeah.
sugar.
Yep.
So that's where it
Correct.
comes from. Which,
Yeah.
if you're going to have alcohol, that's probably the best alcohol.
Probably the best one to have, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want it from potatoes over here.
Too much starch. Just kidding.
Way too much. Too many calories in that.
Yep, that too. And in 5 minutes, we're going to do. Okay. Why deep restoration is foundational, not indulgent? That's the question.
What was the question? I want to make
Okay.
sure I understand it.
Yeah, it's not mine. So, why why deep restoration is foundational, not indulgent?
So I want to make sure that I'm understanding this question correctly, and I'm going to take it the way that I understand it. So, um, deep restorative massage, deep tissue, trigger point, things like that. Um, it's really good for us because the majority of our muscles that we have, there are some that are not structural, but the majority of there's like only a handful of muscles that are not structural. one being like your intestines, right? So when you look at all of your muscles, they're all almost all of them are attached to a bone of some form, some way, some shape, right? And because of that, when you get deep down in there, you're getting towards the bone too. It's a must, you know. You will not have the flexibility in a muscle if you're just doing a light massage that you would if you have a very deep massage.
Okay.
You know, like I can massage myself just like this, just fine, and it feels good, you know, and there are purposes for that. If you're only trying to move the lymphatic system, or if you're only trying to warm up the fascia, or the fat layer, adipose tissue is what that's called. But um, if I want to address a pain that I'm having in my wrist right here, then that surface level work right here is not going to work. I need to go deeper into the muscle that actually affects it. So like here, ooh, let me get about that. Okay, so here, right? I'm not going to move my hand. I'm just going to squish my muscle. Did you see that small
Yeah.
movement in my fingers?
Hmm.
That's just from squishing my muscle. Let me see if I can do it. Hold on. Ooh, let me get on the right one. There it goes.
There it goes. Yeah.
You see that?
Yes.
So I need to know that I need to get deep in there if I'm going to affect anything up here. You know, so deep restorative tissue work, deep tissue, can be imperative to any type of immobility issue because the majority of our muscles are attached to our skeleton,
Right.
and that's our movement that holds us together. So
And it's
I hope that
well,
answers the
it's a
question.
foundational. Well, I have to confess, it's AI that gave me these questions.
Hey, I
It's
love
a
that.
foundational need, not an indulgence.
No, no, it's not an indulgence at all. Um, it's a foundational need because if you have a tight shoulder and you want to get it down, you know, then how are you going to do that if all you're doing is this right here and not
Yeah.
this? You know, sometimes your muscles need the reminder that 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 they can relax. And again, the tissue fibers that are all bunched up like this, if it's deep down in there and it's affecting the way that I grip something, you know, um, I have to be able to get deep down in there. So it's not an indulgence to do that. It's a sometimes necessity in order to, get it to that's my bone and muscle moving right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, it's time for a break, and we'll come back for readings.
perfect.
Be back. Took a while. Okay, we are back. And are you ready?
I am.
Okay. Let's see. Now, Dr. Pre, if you're still here and have a question, please put that in. You were the first one in today, and I want to make sure that you are acknowledged for that. Usually she's one of the last ones, so I want to make sure she knew that. And I don't know what other readings we have for Christine, but I'm sure you have another question, Christine. Please put that in as well. Let's see what else. And then John Peter had a question. Let me get to that. There it is. Here's his question. This intuitive reading or whatever reading you want.
What can I expect in terms? Oh, I'm reading that as one word. I'm like interim. No, in terms of love for the upcoming many months. That is a great question. And this is John
Peter, he said to call him.
John Peter.
Yeah.
Hmm. So, what immediately came up for me as I'm asking this, question of spirit, peace, but maybe not peace in the way that you want. Meaning, when we have a lack of love, sometimes it doesn't feel very peaceful. But when we have an abundance of the wrong love, it's also not peaceful. So, is the lack of love really not peaceful? Did I communicate that clearly? It was okay in here, but I don't know. So, when I think about love, what is it? What is it not? What does it mean to me? What does it not mean to me? Where do I stand with it? Where do I not stand with it? All of that. I think, and what I feel coming up for you, John, is that you are going to have an expansion of who you are that is going to bring a calm and a peace around the love that you're seeking. And it's going to start from within, and you're not really going to expect it. And it may not feel gentle at first. However, it can happen for you. The question is, are you ready? Are you ready for that massive internal change that creates the change outside? I think the answer is yes.
Okay. Thank you. But you have to prepare for it. That's the thing. Prepare.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Davy. Please put in your question. And Christine's question. Oh. Okay. I met someone who is a Cancer sign just like I am. Christine. Okay.
So more positivity and love. We'll take those separately because they can be separate and they can be together. And what can you do to attract more positivity in your life? Well, I'm not going to say affirmations because sometimes that's not the real answer. Although it does help. Saying positive things to yourself does help. I found for myself that the root of finding positivity in my life is understanding how I approach life and my perspectives on all the different things, right? So, my perspective recently has changed on where I show up for people who do not reciprocate that, right? So, for you, look at things in a different way, maybe where you're questioning everything and what seems positive. Is it really positive, based on your own feelings and thoughts and emotions that you have? Could it be a trauma that's affecting that, a past trauma? Could it be something that you learned as a child that is not really yours, but you haven't fully saw yet, like you haven't had an awareness of it to allow you to move through it and process through it, you know? Um So for the positivity, um, I would say question everything that you think is negative. Question everything that you think is negative. Because it doesn't necessarily mean that it's negative. It could just be how you're viewing it as negative, right? So that's for the positivity part of it. The love part of it, I feel like I feel like there's something for you or with you around internal love. You have to love yourself, but that statement itself is a trigger for you, I think, because I'm feeling triggered when I think about that statement, and that's not mine, right? So, when it comes to the love aspect of your life, right? Um, have you ever heard of Abraham Hicks, where if you're focused on so much on this, then you're not allowing this, the polarity of it, right? So if you're really focused on not having it, right, instead of letting go of the outcome to it completely, right, then you're holding a block to allowing it. Okay. So for you, it's not about, oh, love yourself more. No. For you, it's about refocusing your attention on the positive aspects of what you feel on love, but also acknowledging the negative aspects that you feel around it as well. So that you can have that awareness of it and go, do I really want to continue to hold that belief or thought or feeling? Is that really mine? You know? And I think you said something about meeting a Cancer and you're a Cancer.
Yeah.
Um, and cancers are usually fairly positive. I mean, not positive, um, calm. You know, they have a calm demeanor. You want love. You are not someone who goes out to hurt someone, and then it's possible that you're bringing in your match for that, right? What I want you to think about is how is your perspective on love, right, going to affect what you're dealing with if that person says something that triggers you, right? So you have to be very, very aware of your own emotional and mental states with anyone, whether they're a Cancer sign just like you or they're a Leo who is the complete opposite, you know? So, thoughts. Everything that you have in your life is something that you create in some way or form or fashion by what you believe and what you hold on to. And the more that we're willing to let go of outcomes to all these different things, and the more we're willing to let go of the beliefs and the thoughts that may not have come from us inside to begin with, it's very likely that you will find all the things that you're looking for just by allowing it and not focusing on the not having of it.
Yeah. Hope that helps you. Okay.
Mhm.
And then John Peter had a follow up.
But I've been loving myself a bit. That's beautiful. I love that. Also, someone from my past came to my mind a week ago. Okay. I'm going to say no. That's not going to work. That's my immediate reaction to that is no. Yes, someone coming from your past could be yourself, your body stored memory, trying to get you to think, mentally and emotionally about something that happened during that time, good or bad, that you're not currently thinking about, right? So just because they came up doesn't mean you're supposed to go after them. Doesn't necessarily mean that. It means it's our body communicating with us saying, hey, I'm remembering this. Okay, well, why are we remembering this? Look at that in more detail. Um, More often than not, in my experience, I've found that when my body brings something to me like that, because even though something comes to our mind, it's not always from spirit. A lot of times that's from our mind, our body holding on to that thought, and it's our nervous system bringing it up to say, hey, we need to address this, or hey, this scared me, or hey, I love this, and we need to look at that in more detail to say, hmm, what is it I'm really supposed to be acknowledging within this specific memory scenario, or with that specific person that you had relations with, you know? Um, Remember I said a minute ago that it's going to be a great awakening, but it's not going to feel like it at first. So going back to that, um, when you, when not you specifically, when we, right, as humans, but when we have memories and thoughts and things like that that come out of the blue, sometimes that's our body and our nervous system saying, hey, remember this? And sometimes it's trying to protect us from something. And sometimes it's trying to say, hey, wake up. Like this, sometimes it's our body saying, if you go down that road, you might run into this scenario again. Be careful, you know? But sometimes our emotions and what we desire, our attachment to the outcome of what it is we want will skew that message. It will say, so here's the message, right? Here's my desire. Okay, so here's the message from my body, and here's my desire. I can't see you now, right? So it'll block me from seeing the true message. And that's why letting go of attachments to outcomes is so important. Um, so for you, again, John, I think that um, what I said before about you're going to have an awakening within yourself about love, not loving yourself, but about love itself, and what it represents for you and how it is for you. That's going to open your eyes to what the possibilities are out there, right? So um if you want to see that memory as something, okay, well, maybe I should go back and talk to this person, maybe you need closure on that, but it doesn't mean you're automatically going to have a relationship with that person.
Good. Okay. Again, Dr. P, did you have a question? Amy, I know you like good readings, and you know Cheryl. Sandra, Carrie, and we'll get to Davy. Wow, the frog is back. So,
Just saying hi.
yeah, I haven't left you.
That.
Yeah. So, Davy would like a general reading.
Okay. Davy Jones. That reminds me of a pirate off of a show or something. I could be so confused though. It's funny that that comes up though, because what I'm getting around you is that you're kind of a free spirit, that you may not be a pirate as in going around the world stealing things, but you like adventure. And the adventure can get you in trouble sometimes. Yes, it can. Right? So watch out for that. I see you as having a very jovial spirit. So I think you like to play and be on the lighter side of things in life. And that could be because you've have gone through some really, hard things, and that's okay. Um, there's nothing wrong with that. I do see a move in your future. Probably 6 months. It feels like a location move, so you might actually physically move somewhere. It seems as though it's a move, not like me. I just made a short move from one part of Tempe to another part of Tempe, less than a mile away. This is a larger move, although I don't feel it's worldly per se. So it doesn't seem like you're going to another country. It seems like you're staying within the country that you're in, wherever that may be. It just may be a state over or something like that. You feel like you need a new, fresh start. And the spirit is bringing something to my awareness that I feel I need to convey to you. And, one of the things that we do sometimes when we feel like we can't control a situation or we just need a fresh start, are we in fight or flight? Are we in a trauma response or not trauma response, a nervous system response that is telling us, hey, I need to go, I need to get out, I just can't do it anymore? Are you running from something? You know? And of course, I don't need any answers to any of these questions. This is Spirit's message to you saying, take a deeper look at this. And the move is still likely, but it might come with a different perspective. Um, if you look at it from an idea of, is this me choosing this out of fear of something that I can't control, or is it me choosing this because um, I know where I've been and it's time for me to have a clearer path? Those are two very different choices. So I hope that helps. I do think that looking at that will help you with your clarity around moving somewhere this way or that.
Yeah, thank you.
Hmm.
Okay. And Miss Amy does have a question.
Okay. Losing sleep over mentally organizing my upcoming move on March 4th. I'd love some insight into either planning the move or getting better sleep. So, first thing that comes to me about any kind of mental stuff that's going on, right, is, are you doing any tapping to regulate your nervous system? Are you doing any journaling or speaking into a recorder to get that out of your head?
Wow.
That would be the first thing that I would address. Um, because, I can tell you everything's going to be fine all day long, but until you address the nervous system and the mental uncertainty that you're dealing with, um, you're still going to have uncertainty. So I think, I feel what's coming through for you is that this move is going to be great. It's going to be stress free once you get over these mental hurdles that you have going on. Okay. Um, Planning it, if you feel like it's too overwhelming to plan this move, if you are coming to a block where you just can't get motivated and moving, find a friend that can help you start that process. Because a lot of times when we're stuck like that, we can't. We're immobile, and it's just a part of it. It's just so. Also, in my own experience of dealing with stuff like that, I find that when I'm immobile, it's because I'm frozen. My nervous system is in a frozen state, and I can't do anything because I have an emotional reaction that I'm not allowing to process. I'm either not crying, or I'm not expressing the anger, or I'm not expressing the frustration or the fear or whatever it is that's coming up around it. I'm frozen because I'm not allowing myself to feel that emotion. Right? So that's why the tapping is the first thing, because that is a fight or flight, freeze, fawn nervous system response that you may not even be aware that you are having in the moment. Again, I do think that this is going to be a beautiful move for you. Um, I think that you're going to love the place that you're going to be in, and it feels like it's it's going to open things for you, where you don't have as much responsibility.
Good. Well, thank you. Good.
Mm.
All right. Yes. You got Charlie. Okay. And this is Vandana Tile. Vandana. I hope I'm saying it right. Vandana and Vandana. Anyway.
Vendal?
Vandal?
What's
Well,
Vendal?
she said Vandana is her.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah. It's so interesting. Um, when I tap in for you, I get a calm state and an anxious state both, right? One calm being, you know, there's not a lot coming through, right? But the other being, what is this message going to be? It's an anxious state um where you want to hear but you don't want to hear, right? So you want the message and you don't want the message at the same time. It's very interesting because it's a strong polarity, right? And yet at the same time, when I read your text here, it says, "May I request a spirit message for me?" And what that meant for me as someone who's receiving that message for you is that this is about a loved one and that you actually want a medium reading where you're hearing from a specific individual. And I think that might be the polarity that I'm feeling in that. And I understand. Okay, so you have the anxious energy and the person on the other side has a very calm energy. Okay, so that makes sense. The words that are coming to me right now are, I am fine. It's almost as if I'm getting this feeling that you are worried about this person's spirit or soul due to either life circumstances or the end of life ritual. And the very clear call message that I'm getting right now is, I'm okay. Yeah.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. They're okay. They have very, very strong energy though. Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. They're with you. Know that. Okay.
Okay.
Please step back.
Wow. Okay. Yes, Harley, I will hold you back a little bit for your question because Mr. Gupta came in, and it's easier for me to call him Gupta. So, and it is a gentleman, and he is
Okay.
in India.
Cool. May I ask for a message how things will be in my future? That is a great question. I love these questions because it allows for a broad answer. And the first thing that I always tell people when it comes to this kind of answer is I can tell you what the energy shows for you right now, right? And it may or may not ever happen because of your choices and the actions that you take in your own life, right? I do feel positive things, not negative. I feel positive things coming for you, specifically within business. I can't say that a super big, huge pot of riches are going to come to you like in 2 months, but there is a financial gain of some kind, not just from employment, but there's something else that is going to come into your life that will affect your finances in a positive way. I don't know if that's, it almost feels like it's an inheritance of some kind, or something that is in that realm of things, a gift or something. I don't know, if maybe a loan potentially, but it's something in that realm where um, it's not something you necessarily have to work for to get, but it's coming. That's all I'm getting for that right now. Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for coming in, Gupta. He doesn't always come in on these days, and Harley, if there is time, and I can wait until the end. There's no one else posting questions right now, so go ahead. So, may I please have a general reading? Would love to hear what Spirit has to say.
I love all your emojis. I think they're fun. Can you still see and hear me? Because that's so weird. I had a red message that said something about reloading the page.
No, don't. Yeah. You would lose your the chat and everything, so it's better not to do that.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. It's interesting that red message popped up because as I'm sitting here, tapping into the energy of Harley, not a lot is coming through. And usually in my experience when this happens, it's either that the sitter is not ready for the answer or the message just isn't coming for some reason. Harley, I'm going to do something. Can you post a specific question? Because I feel like even though you want a general reading, there's something more specific that you are wanting to ask. And maybe that's why I'm not getting anything. So, Julie, I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. It's probably because I'm so tired. Okay.
That's very possible.
Yep. Oh, so, do you want to go ahead and post a question, a specific question? Harley, are you able to do that? Just focus for a couple seconds. I know you're tired, believe me, I understand. um, yeah. And then K is after that. But I'm going to go ahead and do the birthday for those of you who've had birthdays recently. Here we go.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
There we go.
You know, we might have the same conversation here, Harley. I have those same things going on in my life. Okay. So, money and artistic opportunities and situation with a male friend. Well, my first thing that comes up is, do you want this person to actually just be a friend? Because it's when questions like this come up about things like that, it's usually because you want more than that. I feel like It's going to stay where it's at for now, in that regard. So be prepared for that. And that's okay. Okay. Potentially be prepared that it might not change, that friendship may be all there is there. Okay. Just a potential. Things could change, again, with the whole future casting stuff, that's all in your energy. It's all in the things that you choose to do in your life, and what you decide to let go of, things like that, right? So just know that the possibility of the male friend just staying a friend is there. Okay. Money, we all love money. At least I do. So with your money situation, it doesn't seem like it's going to change right away. It seems like it could be changing within about 3 months or so. It could be related to the artistic opportunities, because 3 is also related to creativity. And I think that really depends on what artistic opportunities you're looking for. So, are you looking for artistic opportunities specifically to make money? Or are you looking for artistic opportunities just to express who you are? Do you want worldwide recognition? Or do you really just want a hobby? If you're an artist and you want more recognition, are you ready for that? And I'm sitting here playing with my cards because I like to sometimes, and the 4 of Cups comes out. Ooh, it just kind of flew out onto the floor. I don't know if you can see that. But the 4 represents a foundation, right? The stability. The Cups represents your emotions. Okay. So this tells me that above everything, whatever is coming into your future in the next however many months, the foundation of your emotions is going to be involved. Now, what this makes me feel like, and what it makes me think of, is how stable are you emotionally? Are you so exhausted from life that you can't push yourself to do anything? Is your nervous system in a fight, flight, freeze, fawn? Because that will stop all of that. And when the 4 of Cups comes out, it generally means, for me, in my experience, it, it means you don't have the foundation of your emotions that you need to build on what you're trying to build on. Okay? So I think I mentioned before, and I'm not sure if you were here, but when I mentioned before that sometimes when I can't do something, it's because I'm not allowing myself to feel the emotion of it. And I think it was in Amy's reading that I had asked her if she was actually writing something out, and you see here that he's writing something. Okay. So you're going to have to handle the emotional part of this stuff before any of that outside of you changes. I think it can change all in positive ways. And whatever's going on is keeping you frozen. And you absolutely need to look at it emotionally and refocus on you. Yeah. I think this is very interesting, because uh, I myself have been in situations not that long ago where I couldn't see things clearly because I was not allowing myself to process the emotion. So I hope that that gives you some guidance on what to look at in order to achieve the things that you are looking for within the money, within, the artistic opportunities, and within a friend being just a friend or something more. You know, um, you probably need one of your. Well, come to Tempe, wherever you're at. We'll figure it out.
We're trying to get her to travel out here, but right now
Yeah,
is not a good time. It's very cold there, so yes, we would like her to get over here.
nice, nice.
But she's on our Tuesday night class.
Okay,
And if you want a Monday night mediumship reading, she'll be there as well. So
cool.
she's part of
Nice,
the
nice.
community from Massachusetts, freezing over there. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I just saw something on social media somewhere that said that New York had one of the biggest freezes. You're very welcome, Harley. Biggest snows, 19 inches in Central Phoenix or Central Phoenix, Central Park.
Oh, wow.
So that's cool, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I know we had like 50-degree weather or something like that last week. It was pretty cold.
For Arizona, that's very cold, just so you know.
It's
Especially
true.
if that's the high.
Well, that was the high at night.
Oh. Well, it does get
My
down.
frog is coming back.
Yeah, mine too. And Harley was saying in the Four of Cups that she looked thirsty. The subject there.
Well, it's not that she looked thirsty per se, but I understand what you're saying. I don't know where the card is. So it's basically it's a hand reaching from the skies, pouring a cup of something into this person's mouth. So I don't know if the person's thirsty, but they're definitely receiving something. Here it is.
It was
And
35
if you
degrees
notice,
here
the
in Florida.
person's mouth is not actually open.
They're
They're
just
just
looking
looking
up.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Christine said 35 in Florida. So
Holy cow. Well,
we're in Arizona for a reason, people.
that's facts. I love the desert.
Okay, let's see who's next. We got that one, that one, that one. Kay Neeson. Yes. Kay is in Florida as well.
What's next for you? Let's see. Oh, that must be from somewhere else.
What?
I
Okay.
like to look at the messages as they come in.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. But I think that's from somewhere else. So, K. K is the key. What does that mean? K is the key.
Mm.
Excuse me. K is the key. Well, I mean, if you look at that in the sense of you are the key to your own destiny, that's that. But I interpret so many different things out of that. So K is the key could be like KK. I don't know if that's an inside joke or something. When I think of key, I think of what do you call those things? Lockets. I think of
Okay.
heart lockets. So is love in your future? That's a great question. Mm-hmm. Why is it just key? Because I'm getting so like anything that has a key to it, piano keys. What key are you singing in, or what note are you singing in? Do you like music? That's interesting. All I got was K is the key. All the rest of it was me just thinking, what does K mean?
So
Um,
K as in the letter or her name? K. She is the key.
she is the key.
You are the
Her
key.
name. K-A-Y. K is the key.
Okay. The reason I ask, because you mentioned KK,
Yeah.
we have a connection to a person who online calls herself KK.
Hmm. That's why I said, is it an inside joke or something?
Yeah, no
Okay.
music. So, from what you're saying, I would um, suggest K that you get a hold of KK.
Yeah.
And if you need help getting a hold of her, let me know. I'll make sure you have the information.
Well, I'm glad you understood that, Julie, because I was like, what?
Well, you got to be a part of the Tuesday night class when you get, when you're free.
Yes. And so, yeah, I've got some things working out.
Yeah.
Got some things working out. My Tuesday evenings may become available pretty soon.
Okay.
That is
That
what
is
they
what
said
they
in my
said in my
dreams.
dreams. Oh,
Tell me
what,
more
that she
about
is the
that.
key or KK? Which
Yeah.
one?
What she said.
Key to what? To the answer.
Yeah.
To the answer to your
So
question.
what they said in my dreams. So you had a dream that's confirming that you are the key?
I live delays.
I do too. It's like the anticipation. What's going on?
I know I should key up the song too. I am the key.
Key.
Yes.
That's where I went to music. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're the key. Okay. So that makes sense to me then. So, okay. If they're telling you you're the key in your dream and that's all they gave me, I think the message might be trust your intuition and own spirit messages. How do you do that? Well, you just learn how to decipher what is a spirit message, what is my message, and what is something else from someone else, right? So, what is this? What could it really be spirit? Like, is it actually part of my own mess? You know, and or is it someone else's energy that I'm picking up on? Right? So when you strengthen your ability to discern which of those three things it is, you're going to trust yourself much better. And I think that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
Does that resonate?
Yeah. And she's very talented in the work that she does. I don't know the terminology. I mean, I know what her title is, Scrub Master. Exactly what they do, I don't know, but I know she's
100%.
highly talented in that.
Scrub master?
Yeah.
That, okay. I don't know what that is either.
She does. She does.
No clue.
Yep. I was hoping that she'd come in after the delay. I was hoping that would help. She might be typing right now.
She's probably typing.
Yeah. She's laughing. Yeah. Okay, we'll wait for your reply, but we'll get back to you when you do reply. My job. Yeah, that's her job. She's a scrum master. I know that. But we don't understand it. That's
A scrub
but
what? Work in
work in
IT.
IT. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I used to work for Wells Fargo's internal IT, so I'm with you, Kay. I'm with you. Yep.
Okay, and Darian's question is, can I get a mediumship message or a message from my guide?
but I have been taken on board ships for training. So, Darian. Let's see. So what I'm getting for you, Darian, is that there's a move of some kind, but it's more like it's like a subtle shift, not an abrupt like change. I'm not getting what area of your life this is going to be in, but it's definitely there. It could mean that it's going to be all of the different areas, because if it's a subtle shift like that, generally it's a shift within who we are. At least from my experience. So there's something about a fish. It's like, you know those Jesus fishes that they had a long time ago? The fishes that have the Jesus in it? That image is coming to me for some reason. It's not exactly clear on why. However, if that relates to someone who's already passed over, it could be them starting to come in. Got it. Okay. And it does seem to be that that's what that is. This person's energy is very subtle. So again, there's an underlying tone of subtleness, like being calm, being maybe reserved would be a good word for this person. At least that's how they represented themselves in life. With them bringing in a religious symbol, it makes me feel like and think of, they might have been a very religious person here when they were here. And that's how you know them. And that's how you would know who this person is. It's very interesting because I'm getting who this person is and was here, and I'm getting a different sense of this person on the other side. So not that they have changed completely who they are, but that their view of potentially that religious, belief system has changed due to crossing over.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's so funny. I just saw some pigeons that look like doves go up on top of the other building, so that's cool too. Is there any specific message you would like to convey to this individual? That was the message. That something in their perspective has shifted since crossing over. That was the message. I do hope that resonates. They're pulling back already. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that fish represents abundance in a lot of ways, and in this specific case, Harley, I think it was not that. But thank you.
And
Sorry.
last, I hope that's good for you, Darian. I do have it open. Okay, James, are you still here? I did let you know we were going to you next. Please let us know if you're here. Well, otherwise, I'll start the church announcements. Well, I guess I'll start them anyway until James pops up. And that, oops, he used to feed pigeons. Oh my goodness.
He is definitely there. Or that was his message. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Change
Nice.
your age. They do. My dad, when he came in after his passing, was there was no apologies, nothing like that. He just said, "Wow, the student is outdoing the teacher." That's all he said. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Okay, James is here. Okay, so we'll go right to James. Okay. And back to James's question. Do you see stability in me receiving meds that I require from government, as in 2 to 3 years at a time, at least? Wow.
I'm getting a yes, no on that. Which tells me that you are likely going to get it. And that there's still some hoops to jump through or something. With the government in the state that it's in right now, that's hard. Yeah.
I don't know which government you're talking about, though,
It
James.
can be
If
any of
you're
them.
here or if you're
I'm
in
getting
UK.
the U.S. government, but who is he in another country or
I
something?
think he might be UK. I think.
Oh, that might be good to know. But even over there, they're having some issues, I believe. I don't watch the news specifically, but I'm still getting a yes, no, regardless of the government.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
yeah. I want to ask, is there something involving military? Because it feels like there's like a veterans thing is coming up for me, and that could be my mind just making up things, but generally it's usually on point. So, um, there is something about military veteran of some kind. And I don't know if the delay is related to that. Um, the ultimate answer is I do think you're going to get what you need, and it's not going to feel the greatest till you get there. That makes sense. It's not going to feel like you're being supported until you actually get it. So whether you're getting it or not, you're just not going to feel supported in getting it. But that it is coming, and that might be where the yes, no is coming in. No military. Okay. That was my mind making it up. Good to know. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, so the answer I'm getting is yes, you're going to get it, and you're not going to feel like you're being supported until you get it.
Okay. No military. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. US, UK. Okay. All right.
Nice.
I thought I remembered that correctly. So thank you for confirmation. But it was so great seeing you today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Hopefully
thanks for
you'll
having me.
be back on sometime. What was the other question? So what do you have next? Do you have any fairs you're doing? Do you have anything going on?
Currently, I'm working to secure a position that is going to square my finances away and make that solid. And then I will be doing more fairs in both psychic realms and spirituality, as well as the physical and sports arenas and stuff like that.
Cool.
So those things are coming. It'll be at least 2 months probably before I do that. Until then, I am still doing individual sessions, both in spirituality and massage therapy. Spirituality can be pretty much anywhere. Massage is a very physical thing, so you kind of have to be here. I invite you to travel here if you're not here. So there's that. Um, yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
And the polarity. What
Mhm.
exactly is that?
Ooh, polarity is a tool that I use to help us mentally and emotionally and physically balance and become in that neutral space that that I was talking about before. And what that looks like is that, part of it can be a conversation and part of it can be body work. Obviously, if it's over the phone or something online, then it would be communication with energy work. Um, and what that looks like is, we're working in the energy and I'm talking about your physical body as we're going through these things, do you feel this sensation here or, stuff like that. So, polarity is just a really great tool to help us balance our own positive and negative energies to come to that neutral space.
And where did you learn this modality?
So I've been doing energy work for a long, long time, and I just didn't have a framework for it, right? So I went to SWIHA for my licensed massage therapy program, and in that program, I did a 200-hour certificate course for polarity communications, which included, polarity 1 and 2, polarity communications, all the 200 hours worth of polarity, plus sessions. What do they call them? Clinical hours, basically,
Okay,
specifically for polarity sessions. So that's where I learned to put the energy framework to the work that I was already doing.
great. And please explain SWIHA for those who do not know.
Okay, so SWIA is short for Southwest Institute of Healing Arts, and they provide massage therapy schooling along with integrative healing arts, which could include polarity, hypnotherapy, things like that.
Yep. And they are in Tempe for anybody who wants to know. And
They do
as
have
far as
some
those,
online courses too.
they have online courses too? Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
So for those of you who are interested, and it's just the initials of the first
Mhm.
of that
Yeah.
word. So SWIHA.
SWIHA. SWIHA.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Right. And tonight, for those who didn't, well, everyone got readings today. Tonight, I hope Angie and Don will be on. That's what usually happens. And this Saturday, I want to remind everyone that at Rising Phoenix Spiritual Church, that there will be a mediumship class given by the mediums from the book, The Mediums, a guidebook. Don and Susan will be giving that on Saturday. So check in with Rising Phoenix Spiritual Church to see if there's any spots left for you. Okay. And again, I will be back on Friday somehow, some way. Uh, um, Bonnie and Jess perhaps will be on Friday Night Live Happy Hour. And this Saturday, no, it is the last Saturday of the month, and Susan's busy. Next Saturday, Susan will be live with her readings. So not this Saturday, she'll be live at Rising Phoenix, and next Saturday she'll be doing her live readings. Okay,
Nice.
and Sunday will be uh, Psychic Sunday with Jess and Bonnie. Thank you guys so much for coming in. We really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed um, Cherril today. Cherril LMT, licensed massage therapist, and get a hold of her. Her email, her phone number, and her website are all on the description. So please take a look at that. and get a hold of her. She does more than just what is on her website. Like she
Mhm.
said, she does the spiritual stuff too. So,
Mhm. Yeah, that website is specifically for licensed massage, but yes. You're welcome, Christine.
yeah. Perhaps someday she'll have a link just where you can get a hold of her spiritual stuff. But
Yeah, that's coming. Definitely coming. 'Cause I know that I want all of it. I don't just want just massage, you know? So, it's working. It's on its way.
yep, one step at a time.
One step at
Thank
a
you so
time.
much. And we will see
You're
you
welcome.
guys next time.
Thank
Any
you.
any last words for the collective?
Um, we have 5 bodies: mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual, and physical. It's just what it is, you know? So, take care of them all. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and, thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, until next time.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Oops.